What's going on, everyone? This is Eric with SweetSpotDFS, and this is my DFS preview and strategy video for the 2022 Zurich Classic. Now, the reason I'm combining these videos is because this is a team event, and really, most things get thrown out the window. There are certain things we can talk about, but when it comes to the sweet spot process, we can't really talk about a bucket system. I don't have enough team data to normalize any of these stats to give you the things you need to look for when trying to target the optimal lineup. So we won't be talking about the bucket system, which kind of just reduces the amount of time that this video is going to take anyways. But I figured I'd still create this video and give you my 2 cents on everything. I'm a competitive golfer. I've golfed in this format before. There are some interesting things to consider. And I've also heard some things online that I have to just warn you not to listen to. So before we get into any of that, I just want to remind you of giveaways that I'm providing. This is called a subscriber giveaway. I'm giving $20 away once we hit 350 subscribers. We are 1 subscriber away. I am going to run this giveaway Sunday night of the Mexico Championship. So it's not going to be this Sunday night. I'm not doing a review video for the Zurich Classic. I'm going to save my time and work on other things. I don't necessarily care about this tournament. I'm not going to be investing a lot of money into it. I'll still play it, but because I don't have all the data that I personally want, I'm just going to let it go. So I will run this giveaway Sunday night of the Mexico Championship. Now, my next goal is going to get to 400 subscribers. Well, I'll determine it. Maybe it'll be 375. But if I do go to 400, I'll make the giveaway like $30 or something like that. So if you're only interested to get the 1 subscriber, just note we're going to need more subscribers to hit the next goal. So I would just say this. If you like what I'm providing, just subscribe. And if you want chances to win money, stay subscribed and participate on the channel. So comment down below. Give me your favorite team this week. That can be a topic, but you can also leave any topic you want. And that'll get you a free entry into this giveaway. Again, I'm going to run it during the Mexico Championship. It's not going to be this week. So I think we're going to get to that 1 subscriber pretty easy. Someone's going to win $20. And all you got to do is comment down below. You get an entry into this giveaway. You get a chance to win $20. If you want another chance to win $20, it's not really so much a chance. You're going to get $20 if you sign up on PrizePicks using the promo code SweetSpot. There's a link in the description that'll get you straight to that sign up page. Super easy. Plus, PrizePicks is going to match your deposit up to $100. So if you put 20 in, you're going to end up having $40 in your account, but it's going to cost you nothing because I'm giving you your $20 back. I mean, it's going to cost you some sign up information. That's it. And then on the flip side of that too, if you put $100 in, you're going to have $200 in your account. And it's only going to cost you $80. So you're going to have a lot of money you can play around with doing it that way. Again, link in the description below. Highly suggest it. Also, the cheat sheet will be available. It'll look very similar to what I have on screen. This is my own personal spreadsheet, but this is what the cheat sheet looks like. We'll talk about this mostly in this video. So if you want access to this and you want to follow along throughout this video, link in the description below. That'll get you straight to the cheat sheet. Just suggest you guys make a copy so you can keep it for yourself and you can edit it however you want. No optimizer this week. I'm basically going to be building. I'm not building a lot of lineups this week, and I'm going to do it all by hand. So optimizer, probably a little difficult to build lineups with anyways. I know I can code it to do at least 10 teams. I can't get it to code to do the 80 teams that we have in the field this week. So those are all the giveaways. The cheat sheet, the $20 from the subscriber giveaway, and $20 from PrizePicks. Those all are available to you guys. All right, let's talk about this tournament. I don't really have a tournament sheet to show you or a golf course information thing. I don't necessarily think a lot of that matters because this team dynamic is going to be the most important thing. And it's going to be a lot about luck. Now, to talk about the tournament format, Thursday and Friday, there is a cut at this tournament, by the way. It's top 30 in ties. So it's going to be the top 60 golfers in the field. There's 160 golfers in the field. So 100 of them are going to be cut. Well, give or take a few, depending on how many ties there are. But like I said, it's top 30 teams and ties. And then Thursday, Friday's rounds, the formats for those is Thursday's best ball, Friday's alternate shot. And those that make the cut, Saturday will be best ball and Sunday will be alternate shot. It makes for a pretty fun viewing experience because alternate shot can get pretty volatile. But to talk about best ball, I'm sure you've heard this throughout the industry and maybe you already know, but let me refresh you. Best ball is when both golfers tee off on each hole and they play their own golf ball all the way through the hole. Whoever has the lowest score is what the team takes. So let's use like Colin Morikawa and Viktor Hovland. They go on hole 1. Colin makes a 4. Viktor makes a 5. The team takes a 4. And Colin's 5 or Viktor's 5 just disappears. It's not a big deal. It will show on his scorecard that he got a 5. Or maybe he doesn't even finish out because that's also a possibility. If Colin makes his par putt before Viktor makes his bogey putt, Viktor can just pick up the ball. He does not need to finish the hole because they know Colin's score is the lowest. Alternate shot is a bit tricky. It confuses some people sometimes because most people think alternate shot is all the way through the hole and then continuous onto the next hole. But here's what will happen. Let's use Colin Morikawa and Viktor Hovland. One of them will choose odd number holes and they will tee off on all odd number holes. Viktor or the second golfer will tee off on all even number holes. Some people in the industry think there's an advantage here, and let me show you why. Well, actually, I'll get back to that. Let me explain the whole alternate shot all the way through. So yeah, you've got your tees that are going to be designated for each of these golfers. So let's say Colin chooses odds and Viktor chooses evens. They're responsible to tee off on each of those holes. Now, on hole 1, let's say Colin tees off. Viktor will hit that next shot. Wherever Colin hits the ball, he could pump it OB. Viktor would then have to re-tee. So it would be Viktor's shot off the tee because Colin put his one shot out of bounds. Viktor would then have to re-tee. But let's say he doesn't. Let's say Colin hits it perfectly in the middle of the fairway like he typically does. Viktor then goes up. He hits his approach shot, and wherever he puts the ball, that's where Colin has to hit from. And they do that all the way until the ball is in the hole. Like I said, they alternate tee boxes, who tees off. So let's say Viktor puts the ball in the hole on hole 1. He still has to tee off on hole 2. It does not matter that he put the ball in the hole before. Does not matter whatsoever. You're going to hit alternate shot all the way through the hole until that hole is done, and then you kind of like restart. And then it'll alternate tee shots, like I said before. So hopefully that made sense. I'm not sure if many people out there really explained it all that well. I think they call the actual terms they use is 4-ball and 2-ball, which is kind of just dumb. 4-ball is your best ball, 2-ball is your alternate shot. Whatever. All you need to know is that's how those formats are going to go Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, Sunday. So makes it kind of interesting. Now to go back to that advantage I was talking to you guys about, if I use the golf course as an example, so I have the Zurich Classic loaded in here. If I go and look at all the par 3s on the golf course, you're going to see 3 of them are on odd number holes. So you can see there's a par 3 on hole 3, hole 9, hole 14, and hole 17. So obviously we take 14 out of it and you have 3 holes where it's on an odd number hole. Now, a lot of people out there are going to be like, oh yeah, this is where you want really good ball strikers. This is really, where you want the best iron players. Yeah, but if you look at some of these par 3s, they're over 200 yards. So there really isn't like a huge advantage to some of these ball strikers, right? Like Colin Morikawa and Viktor Hovland at 200 yards, I don't know who gets the advantage. I really don't. I'd have to look under those yardage buckets to see who does better. But I would assume probably Viktor Hovland because he probably hits the ball a little bit further. And just being able to hit it further gets the ball up in the air a little bit higher. And it typically goes straighter because the higher you hit it or the more backspin you put on the golf ball, which usually comes from speed, the straighter your golf ball is going to fly. That's not always the case. I understand that. I'm not trying to advocate for just finding bombers. But what I'm trying to say is don't listen to that noise and try to like make all your lineups look that way. It just, there's no point. This really comes down to how well a team can ham and egg the tournament. And that's the only term you need to be comfortable with, or even familiar with, or even need to know during this event. Because ham and egg, a lot comes from just luck. Like, I've been in a lot of tournaments where you play alternate shot and where you play best ball. Let's say Colin Morikawa and Victor Hovland go on hole number 1. They both birdie the hole. Well, how about this? Let me tell you, if I were to tell you Victor Hovland's going to have 5 birdies and so is Colin Morikawa. If that team was going to score the best possible way, Colin Morikawa would birdie his 5 holes on separate holes than what Victor Hovland would birdie his holes. So that way you get 10 total birdies for the team as opposed to only, say, 5 if they birdie the same hole. Because, I mean, Victor Hovland and Colin Morikawa could go and birdie hole number 1, hole number 6, hole number 7, hole number 11, hole number 18. Let's say they birdied those 5 holes. They both did during their best ball. Well, now they're 5 under just on those holes. Who knows what they did in between? You know, like, what you would truly want is Morikawa birdies hole 1, Victor pars it. Victor birdies hole 2, or let's say he eagles hole 2 and Morikawa pars it. That is such a huge advantage. You know, like, now they're 3 under after 2, and say Colin birdies this one, Victor birdies that one, and so on and so forth. Now your 10 total birdies are getting applied to different holes. Now your score's better. So that's what ham and egging is. It's when your player is playing poorly, you're able to pick them up with your good play. And when you are playing poorly, your player is able to pick you up with their good play. I don't know how many times I've been paired up in a tournament with the best golfer in the entire tournament. Either I'm the best golfer or they're the best golfer, or we're the 2 best golfers and we get like 4th place, 5th place, because we don't birdie on opposite holes. Like, we play really solid golf, but we're getting beat by, I'll call them jabronis. We're getting beat by jabronis who are making bogeys on their scorecards, but they're also birdieing separate holes. You know, let's say me and my buddy, we score 12 birdies between the 2 of us, but they only get applied to 6 holes. Well, the jabronis also get the same amount of birdies, but they're on separate holes and they got a couple bogeys. They're still like 2 strokes better than we are. And there's nothing we can do about it. We played better golf than they did. No, technically, because, you know, we didn't make any bogeys, but they still beat us because they birdied separate holes. So that's what, you know, ham and egg is what's really going to be the difference maker at this tournament. And then alternate shot is its own beast. Like, if certain people are trying to tell you there are scripts that teams are supposed to be following, I guarantee you they don't know much about golf. Like, that is too, that's like too linear. That's what a data scientist, a data nerd would tell you. Like, yep, oh, you know, you want your best drivers on the par 5s. They'll get the other golfer, you know, the ball striker, as close as they possibly can to the green, meaning they're going to hit the best approach shots into the green and they're going to make birdie the best way. You want to know the real big benefit to these types of tournaments is just hitting the ball far. No matter what tournament you're in, having a higher club head speed grants you the greatest potential of scoring, period. So, like, if we were to look at some of these golfers down here at the bottom, let's use like an old group. Kind of want to use Bill Ha. No, not Bill and Jay. Shoot, I can't think of a team off the top of my head. How about this? Ryan Armour and Michael Gligic. I don't know. I know Ryan Armour doesn't really hit the ball very far, and neither does Michael Gligic. So these guys could probably be known for, yeah, they have decent green and regulation and good proxy numbers. So we could say maybe they're good on approach. But because they don't hit the ball far, their scoring potential is going to be less than someone who hits the ball really far. Or let's say a team that hits the ball really far. Well, here's a good group that hits the ball really short. Jim Herman and Von Taylor. What are their approach stats? Not good. I'm struggling to find a group, but what I would say is just find the best scoring teams you can possibly find. Do not get married to the idea that you want to find a good approach player to go with a good off the tee guy. That might work for one of your team, like one of your golfers in your lineup. I don't even know what to call your lineup. Like your lineup has 6 different teams in it. If you think about it, they're designated as golfers, but you have 6 teams in your lineup. So maybe you'll have one team that has someone that has really good off the tee, and then someone who has really good approach. But do not stick to the whole script narrative. That is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, just on paper, it sounds rational and logical, but that is not how it's applied on the golf course. So try not to listen to that stuff. That's the type of thing you shouldn't listen to. I think really, if you find your 6 best golfers that you think has the best scoring potential, that's who you go with. This golf course isn't super difficult. 7,400 yards, par 72, 4 par 5s. Not much for shot shape. It's another Pete Dye golf course, so maybe you want to use Pete Dye stats. It has overseeded Bermuda greens with Poa Trivialis, like we've seen the last few weeks. But the rest of the golf course is Bermuda. So I think we have like a Valspar situation here where there is still some overseed on the golf course, but not a lot. If you want to use those kind of comparisons, that's fine. I have no issue with that. I really don't know where you're going to get an advantage other than just lineup building. You know, trying to find a good low-end team to mix in with some of your high-end teams. And the pricing is soft this week, so it should make it pretty easy. But why don't we keep this a little structured? Let's go. The only year I actually have salaries is 2021. I don't know why I don't have 2019 salaries. I remember playing. Maybe I didn't play draft. Maybe DraftKings only came out in 2021 with salaries. Remember, 2020 had COVID, so this tournament was canceled during COVID. But your GPP winning lineup used up all $50,000 of the salary and scored 685.5 points. And they had, 4 golfers inside the top 10, and then 1 golfer top 17, team. 4 teams inside the top 5, 1 team that was 17th place, and 1 team that was 23rd place. So I think you can win a GPP by not really figuring out the best perfect lineup this week. Your optimal scored 711 points. So it's only 30 points more than what I just the golfers that I just called out. And you basically, it's kind of confusing, but you had 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, just like the GPP winning lineup, in the top 5. And then we actually come down to 11th place for one of them. And where's the other one? So 2 11th place finishes for teams. So basically all 6 guys inside the top 11. You're going to have to get weird with your lineups. I mean, we have a 10, 9, 8, 7, 7, 6 lineup. So that is your traditional build. 10K up and up. 9, 8, 7, 7, 6. So that's kind of how I'm going to be building my lineups this week. Again, I don't know how many lineups I'm going to create, but that's where I'm going to start. And much like how I'm not talking about the bucket system, there's not enough data to normalize any of this. So yeah, that's how it looked this week, or in 2021. Optimal left $100 on the table. GPP winning lineup scored used 50,000 of the salary. And look at how many 10K golfers you actually have near the top. You had Cam Smith and Mark Leishman. Then Billy Ho and Sam Burns, Rahm, Palmer, Watson, Scheffler. You had Willett and Hatton, all inside the top 10. So the cream rises to the top. And most likely we're going to have to find a golfer that finishes inside the top, well, hopefully inside like the top 11, top 12, maybe top 15. You know, Garnett and Stallings makes the rest of the lineups work because they're $6,800. Yeah, I think that's where we need to figure out where our edge is. It's trying to find that good 6K range. So from here, double check what I typically talk about. I already forgot. Usually I would go to bucket system. Yeah, it would be all buckets from here. We talk about past optimal lineups and then we get straight into the buckets. We don't have the buckets this week. We can talk about the rankings. We can talk about the Marquee Tee Times, and then my favorite teams. There we go. So let's go ahead and let's get in that. So if I rank top to bottom, how about this? Let's rank our team. So what I did is I ranked all my golfers the typical way that I do, and then I added their team totals. So it's their rankings combined. So obviously I have Victor Hovland and Colin Morikawa as my number one team. And then it actually goes Sam Burns, Billy Horschel, and then Patrick Cantlay, Xander Schauffele. And that has everything to do with Xander Schauffele's terrible ranking in my model. And then right behind them is Cam Smith and Mark Leishman. So the 10K range is exactly how it should be. They should be the top teams in the field, and they are. So I'm not going to go through all of the rankings. I'll just, we'll talk about the teams that I like the most going through. But I also kind of use these rankings as my my Marquee Tee Times. So you can see the rankings are sorted from best to worst. And you can see I've highlighted the top 1/2, so the top 80 golfers, let's put it that way. The top 80 teams, is that how it went? Let me double check. Okay, top 40 teams. So we got the top 40 teams highlighted. And then from there, what I did is if they're paired up together in a good lineup with another, color-coded group. So let's say this Hovland Morikawa is with Cam Smith and Mark Leishman. You can see this green indicates they're the top 40 in the field, top 40 golfers in the field with their teams, I should say. They're going to get color-coded over here. So that's how I'm going to do my Marquee Tee Times this week. So if I go ahead and filter this by color. Now remember, Marquee Tee Times have everything to do with trying to find golfers in the optimal lineup. Typically on a normal tournament, we would want to pick somewhere between 2 to 3 golfers to choose from to build our lineups around, because we typically see that from the Marquee Tee Times. 2 or 3 of them are in the optimal lineup. I'm going to go ahead and say the same thing here. Now, again, I don't have enough data to normalize this, but I'm just going to go ahead and take a guess that that's what's going to happen this week. So how I'm going to do it is I'm going to go 3 to 4 teams to build my lineups around. You can see all these guys are pretty expensive. So we have 10Ks, 9Ks, and 8Ks. There's no one in the 7K range. I wouldn't anticipate it. They did pair up all the best teams together, which makes it a little easier for us to figure out which teams we want to build our lineups around. Now, when it comes to like Victor Hovland, Colin Morikawa, or Cameron Smith, Mark Leishman, I don't really care. I think either one of these is good. I'm starting a lot of my lineups with Hovland and Morikawa. I don't necessarily think, playing the top price team is going to be the best strategy this week. But again, pricing is super soft. I think going that 10.98, 7.76 is going to be the route that you want to take. I think it's really easy to do that this week. So I don't mind going there and just being, okay, there's my 10K group. How about I go to my 9K group? And there are some golfers to choose from just within the Marquee Tee Times. I could go Harold Varner III and Bubba Watson, Scotty Scheffler, Ryan Palmer. I'm just going to tell you right now, we're doing that right away. Taylor Gooch, Max Homa, Shane Lowry, Ian Poulter, and then Tommy Fleetwood, Sergio Garcia. And I really have no issues with any of those 9Ks. So, you know, pairing up when the 10 and the 9, pretty easy this week. But I also think we could probably find our 8K range in here as well. So with that being said, what 8K range do we like the most? Well, Seamus Power, Graham McDowell, I don't necessarily care for. Not terrible, but I don't care for. Kazire and Poston are kind of interesting. I don't mind that. And then our last 8K group is Hatton and Willett. Now, I don't know how I feel about that. I might want another low 9K range. So like a Taylor Gooch or Max Homa. I don't mind that 9K range. But we also have one down here, Bubba Watson and Harold Varner III. So a lot of people have already talked about Bubba and how he's not really fun to play with. This is true. Bubba is one of the most hated golfers on tour to play with. And that's the majority of golfers. There are some golfers that enjoy playing with Bubba Watson, like Harold Varner III. If you don't recall, Harold Varner III and Bubba Watson teamed up in a charity event. Believe it was for the Rocket Mortgage Classic, and I think they won. And they had a super fun time doing it. One of my thumbnail pictures comes from them in that charity event. So I don't mind going with the Harold Varner III and a Bubba Watson this week. Plus, Harold Varner's coming off a pretty darn good finish at the RBC Heritage. So is Shane Lowry, and I don't remember who else it's in this group here. JT Poston finished third. That's actually pretty good. Shane Lowry finished third, and Tommy Fleetwood finished 10th. Like, those are probably good golfers to choose from. But I don't mind going to Harold Varner III at all. And now that I see JT Poston finish third, I don't mind going to like a Kazire or a Poston as well. So that's kind of what I would do. I'd kind of do the 10-9-8 version of this, or 10-9-9, or maybe 10-10 and then skip the rest. That is totally viable this week as well. So those are the Marquee Tee Times. Why don't I just go through all of my favorite teams? Or we can go through all the teams top to bottom. And I'll give you my opinion on them. So Victor Hovland, Colin Morikawa, self-explanatory, super good. Cantlay Schauffele, I don't think there's really anything wrong with picking these guys. I'm interested as to why Schauffele's been playing so poorly as of late. That will most likely keep me away from him, but I don't mind if you play him. I think that's fine. Smith and Leishman, there's nothing wrong there. Like, go ahead, anchor your lamps around them. Same goes with Burns and Horschel. I think that's a really solid duo. This is like the preferred surfaces for both Sam Burns and Billy Horschel. Sam Burns, by the way, an LSU what do you call it? An LSU product. He comes from Louisiana State University, so this is, very familiar with him, very familiar territory. Billy just likes the Bermuda golf courses down south. Scheffler and Palmer, solid golfers there. I think the joke always is with Palmer is he's going to find water, and there is water at this golf course. But he also is able to, the big joke everybody's been saying is, how the hell does he get, the best golfer on his team? So, anyways, Scheffler is just playing out of his mind, and Palmer's no slouch. So I have no issue playing Ryan Palmer. Lowry and Poulter, solid duo. Do not think of them as a detriment. Sergio and Fleetwood, this could be missed putt city all over the world, like all over this golf course. Great ball strikers, just great tee to green, but when they're on the green and needing to make putts, I don't think I trust these guys. I'm not saying they can't play well, but out of the top guys we've already talked about, this is going to be the first group I fade. Neiman and Pereira, Team Chile, super good. Gooch and Homa should be solid. Varner and Watson, I already gave you my 2 cents about them. I think it's a decent duo. Zalatoris and Davis Riley, huge upside. And obviously, if you heard me talk about this earlier, I think that's what we go with. You want upside. When do you ever get Zalatoris in the 8K range, like, anymore? I think that's a good team. And I think even being paired with Davis Riley is a good thing too. Tyrrell Hatton and Danny Willett, I think they had a top 10 finish last year. They had an 8th place finish, that is. So that's pretty good. Actually, I'll just keep this information right here. Im and Benny Ann. Benny Ann has just been, if you've played DFS golf for a while, he's going to be a sweetheart for you guys. have no issue with choosing this team, but I'm not doing it with sentiment. Like, I think it has potential, but this would be my second group I would fade of this price point and up. Power and McDowell, I don't care all that much for. I'm not going to try to persuade you not to play them, and I'm not going to persuade you to play them. I think it's okay. Bradley and Steele, it's a boring team, but they did finish 4th here last year, and both of them are pretty decent on Pete Dye golf courses. So there is some merit playing them. Pat Kazire and JT Poston, we talked about them with the Marquee Tee Times. I don't have an issue with it. I think it's okay. Straka and Grayson Sig. Are these guys from the same college, I wonder? They're both from Georgia. Yes, they are. Here's the other thing that goes along with team events. Playing with friends is a good thing. It really helps. You know, you can go out there, and even if you're playing terrible, just having that comfortability playing with a friend just boosts you up. So I don't mind Straka and Grayson Sig. That's probably a good 8K team to go to. I also really like Chris Kirk and Brendan Todd, but who doesn't in the DFS industry? Probably staying away from Justin Rose and Henrik Stenson. I just don't care enough. Robert McIntyre, Martin Laird. Here's your Scottish duo with a huge age difference between them. Probably going to stay away from them. I don't see how this team works all that well. I think they're good ball strikers, but I'm probably just staying away. Yeah, so they're really good tee to green, but not so great on the putting surfaces. So see Fleetwood and Garcia, what I talked about with them. You got the Hadwins, the Canadian Hadwins, that is, Adam Hadwin and Adam Svensson. This group has been talked up quite a bit in the industry, and I mean, there's really nothing bad to say about them, really. I think they have a really good all-around game. Putting probably poor on Svensson's side, but hey, Hadwin can make up for it. Plus, Hadwin at this golf course alone, I think, is a good play. So I don't mind that group. You can save some money, go to another 8K range. Mitchell and Snedeker, they played here last year. They finished 4th, so take that as you will. And I think that was just a by chance pairing, so I don't think there's anything really special with this group. I'm probably going to fade them, if I'm going to be honest with you, because, you know, sure, the 4th place finish looks good, but I don't think I think you just stay away. I heard Mark Immelman talk about the South Africans here, Charles Schwartzel and Christian Bezuidenhout. He likes this group because Charles can hit the ball really far and Bezuidenhout is really good with his irons. But that's one of those script narratives that obviously, if you listen to me talk about, I think is absolutely not the way to go this week. So you do as you will. I don't really have a lot of care. Like, there's no care for me in this group. I'll probably fade them. Merritt and Streb, sneaky low price, mid price team that I really don't have anything bad against, so I don't mind. This is an interesting one. Cameron Tringali and Wyndham Clark. Wyndham Clark hits the ball super far, so that was the topic of conversation with potential. So Clark has that, but the rest of his game's pretty crappy. And Cameron Tringali's been all over the map. He finished 12th last week at the RBC Heritage, but I don't really have anything pleasant to say about either of these guys. So you do with it as you will. Schwab and Gim, I don't mind that group. Doug Gim was in the optimal lineup last year at this event with Justin Suh. I think they can score well. Both of them are definitely high potential scorers. So yeah, I don't mind putting money on them. A lot of people are going to be gravitating towards Maverick McNeely and Joseph Bramlett for good reason. The scoring potential for this team is super high as well. When it comes to just hitting the ball super far, they're both pretty good at doing that. Yeah, they're off the tee stats, probably some of the best in the field. Approach is okay. Around the green, not so great. And then when it comes to putting, Bramlett's pretty bad with his putting. But if I look at DraftKings points, yeah, they're okay. McNeely is definitely much better than Bramlett. Bramlett's been missing cuts. pretty decent, DK top 10% here. So I don't mind that. Kisner and Brown, if you're wondering why these two are together, they're best friends. Kevin Kisner and Scott Brown are best friends. Play them. Like, they're going to be solid this week. What did they finish? Top 20 last year? I mean, they missed the cut last year. That's right. So they had played really well the year before that, and they've won this event together. So not terrible there. I'm probably staying away from Jason Day and Jason Scrivener, the Australian Jasons. I think that's what this group is. I don't have Scrivener's information, but I'll be staying away from that group. I don't trust Jason Day enough. Sahith Tagala and Bo Hosler. Hosler's really good on difficult golf tracks. Sahith is an amazing scorer. Like, he can score a lot of DraftKings points. I think maybe just based off of his potential, not terrible to go to, but probably staying away as much as I can. You got your Scandinavians here, your Swedes with the last name of Nor. So you got Norin and Norlander, which in Scandinavia means north. The Northlander and the Northerner, I think that's what their names mean. I'm probably just staying away from this, if I'm being honest. Norin is really good at stringing along pars. Norlander has a good scoring potential, but I don't know. I'm probably just staying away. Yeah, collectively they're pretty good with their DK top 10 percentage. But I hate trying to depend on Alex Noren. Absolutely hate it. I do not. I'm just staying away. Our next group is Russell Knox, Brian Stewart. Stewart has won this tournament individually by himself when it used to be an individual event back in 2016, 2015. I don't even remember when he won it. Brian Stewart, 2016 is when he won. I don't mind that group. Don't really care for it. Don't mind it. If I'm going to put an ownership on this for me, I'm probably playing them somewhere between 7 to 10% in my lineups. Aaron Rye, David Lipsky. Here's a great scoring potential group that not a lot of people are talking about. So I probably would want to put a lot of teams or a lot of lineups with this team in it. Lucas Glover, Ches Reavie, pass. Like, I just don't care. Matthew Neesmith, Taylor Moore. They're mediocre scorers. Like, I think they could easily finish inside the top 15. That's about it for me. I just don't care. Brennan Grace and Garrick Higo. You got an age difference here. Both of them are from South Africa as well. I guess I don't have Garrick Higo's. Wow, Brennan Grace is only 33 years old. There's no way. He's looked like he's been 40 years old for like the last 10 years. That's insane. Yeah, I don't know. I'm still gonna fade them. I don't really care. Joel Damon and Steven Yeager. Hey, Steven Yeager has shot a 59 on the Korn Ferry Tour before. Joel Damon, pretty consistent when it comes to scoring. I just don't think there's enough upside with that group, to be honest. Rafa Cabrera Bello with Emiliano Grillo. Yeah, if this was 3 years ago, I'd tell you want to play this group, but I don't know if I can get there. Denny McCarthy, Ben Coles. Ben Coles popped for me a couple weeks ago. That's about the nicest thing I can say about Ben Coles. I don't know enough about him, and I don't care about Denny McCarthy here all that much either. Sam Horsfield and Matt Wallace. Horsfield used to be like the talk of the town on the European Tour. Or the talk of the European Tour. A young kid that had came out and was really good, but just doesn't perform in the big events. And if we want to call a PGA Tour event a big event, probably not going to do the greatest here. Scott Stallings and Bryce Garnett. Hey, they finished top 11 here, and they were part of the optimal lineup. Obviously, they both hit the ball pretty decent, to be quite honest. Like, not a lot is talked about Garnett's game or Scott Stallings. And I guess their off the tee isn't super great. I thought they hit the ball pretty decent. 300 for Stallings, 289 for Bryce Garnett. Thought Garnett hit the ball a little further, but either way, I guess not a terrible team to consider. I just, like 5 to 7%, I'll put them in my lineups. Redmond and Sam Ryder seems like a pretty good group to play with or to use. So I don't mind doing that. Tyler Duncan and Adam Schenk, they finished 11th here last year. It looks like Tyler Duncan just played decently at the RBC Heritage, so maybe that's a good play. Harry Higgs and Austin Smotherman, I don't necessarily care for this group, so I'm probably just going to ignore them. It's not that big of a deal to me. I think maybe, yeah. Tom Hoagie and Paul Barjon, I actually like this group quite a bit. Paul Barjon hasn't been playing super great as of late, but I think he has a pretty good ceiling when it comes to his potential. So I don't mind playing Paul Barjon. He does have one Pete Dye event and he finished 10th. So there's something with that, maybe. Next group is Charlie Hoffman and Nick Watney. I don't, man, if I knew what Charlie Hoffman's health was like, obviously he said the stupid stuff that he did during the the WM Phoenix Open. And he was withdrawing prior to that. Like their top 10 percentage is pretty high. Their DK top 10 percentage for this last year. So the scoring potential's there. Everything has to do with health. They're both kind of old. Yeah, Hoffman's 45 and Nick Watney's 41. If you were to tell me that Nick Watney is older than Brendan Grace and you were to bet me money, I would lose so much money. Brandon Grace is 33 years old. There's no way. There has to be a mistake, right? No way. Next group, Alex Smalley, Hayden Buckley. I like this group for their potential, their scoring potential. I don't mind, dropping down here at 7K and using them. I think they're a pretty decent pair. Scott Piercy and Sean O'Hare. I want to be a forever optimist with Sean O'Hare. Like, I think he has the potential to get back on tour and be okay. But I don't think it's going to be with Scott Piercy. Peter Uline and Richie Wierenski. I don't mind this group. For a 6K range, I really have no issues with that other than their Pete Dye stats pretty bad. But they did finish 3rd here last year, so there's that. Brandon Wu and Patrick Rogers. Another okay group. Like, I don't mind their potential. They have a pretty decent DK top 10 percentage over the last year. Together, they equal 19%, which is okay. Okay in the 6K range. Chase Seifert and Hank Libiota. I don't mind this group. Lots of potential here, and I think Seifert just by himself has decent course history. No, he does not. He has a missed cut. That's what he has. So never mind. Adam Long, Bo Hogue, I don't have enough to talk about them. Like, I don't really care all that much. Kurt Kitayama and Kiradech Affy Barnrat. I don't know how this group got together. I think that must have been luck of the draw. I do like Kitayama. I think he can score really well, but I don't trust him in this group. Lucas Herbert and Arjun Atwal. Apparently they're members at the same golf course, and that's how they paired up together. I don't care. I don't think that's a good team. Chappell and Hahn. If this was like 5 years ago, yeah, this group probably would have been like $7,400 and would have been the talk of the town. Like a lot of DFS industry guys would have been talking about Chappell and James Hahn. For me though, I don't know. I don't think I can get there. I do really, really like Vincent Whaley or Vince Whaley, I should say, and Lee Hodges. Pretty good group together, 10% DK top 10. That's good in the 6K range. What do they have for stats? Off the tee is pretty solid. I don't mind that. And losers when it comes to approach, that's okay. That's fine. I don't mind them. Cameron Percy and Brendan Hagee. Okay, so if here's a great team for off the tee and approach. Percy with approach, Hagee off the tee. If you want to write that script out and play them, you let me know if you win money, having these guys in your lineups. I bet you won't. Mark Hubbard and Ryan Brem. That's another off the tee approach team. Not as great. Ryan Brem won the Corrales Punta Cana not too long ago. Mark Hubbard has a lot of scoring potential. Let's put it that way. His round under 70 percentage is still super high, 45%. You can see he's higher than most people around him. And his cut made percentage, super high as well. So I don't mind Mark Hubbard, but Ryan Brem, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. How did he do? I think he played the RBC Heritage. He missed the cut. Okay. Next group, Max McGreevy and Andrew Novak. Young guys, I believe, or at least Corn Ferry guys. Yeah, I don't even have data on them with their ages or anything like that. I think the scoring potential's there. I guess together they have, what, 7%? And when it comes to off the tee approach, they're not very good. So maybe not. Chad Ramey and Josh Creel, I guess. Another bad off the tee team. Okay approach. Probably staying away from them, I guess. Yeah, probably. Chad Ramey just won a tournament. Is that the Puerto Rico Open? Maybe Ryan Brem won the Puerto Rico Open and Chad Ramey won the Cross Punta Cana. Both of those guys won alternate events. Let's see. John Huss, Sung Kang. I don't mind that group, to be honest. I really like the group of Curtis Thompson and Nick Hardy. Danny Lee and Sangmoon Bae. It would be great if this team did well. If Danny Lee can stay within his wits, he might give Sangmoon Bae a chance to get his tour card back. If you remember, he was doing pretty decent until he had to go into the military, I think in South Korea. So he's now back from his, I think they gave him a medical exemption for that. But I also don't think I don't think he has his tour card. I haven't seen him in many events. But this would be good for him. So I hope Danny Lee can stay, because he can get down on himself real quick and just quit. So I hope this group can be good. When it comes to like rostering them, probably not. Yeah, I don't think so. Vaughn Taylor and Jim Herman. Don't care about this group. Camilo Villegas and Kyle Stanley. Talk about your heartthrobs from the 1990s. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, like from the 2000s. Sure. If you're a masochist and you like losing money, this is a good group to put your money on. They've been playing so bad over this last year. Really bad. Stanley, look at his tee to green, 0.547. Camilo's 0.278. It's pretty good. Pretty good off the tee and okay on approach. Camilo gets a lot of his help from around the green, which I don't think is going to help them here. So I'm going to say no to that team, but they're very interesting. I like the group of Wesley Bryan and Trey Mullinax. You can kind of see their stats. Also pretty okay. Positive tee to green. Wesley's not a very good driver of the golf ball, but Trey Mullinax is. And then Wesley Bryan's good on approach. So here's another one of your groups where if you believe a script where, you have a strong off the tee guy with a strong approach guy, here you go. This is your group. Or one of them. Sung Yul No, Michael Kim, that'll be a no. Justin Lauer, Dylan Wu, I don't mind that group. Kevin Tway, Kelly Craft, I don't mind that group. Ryan Armour, Michael Gligic, pass. Bird and Hadley, I don't mind that group. Wolf and Reeves, don't know much about them. I feel like they're okay. But yeah, I wouldn't know. I think they're young guys. Yeah, I don't see anything stat-wise that would tell me I want to play them. So up to you guys. If you know more about it than I do, go for it. Ben Martin, Bo Van Pelt, not terrible. Just throwing that out there, not terrible. Dupner and Cook, these are your short ball hitters. I'm probably staying away from them. Garrigus and Gainey, if there was a make the cut parlay, I would add these guys to it because I think they can grind out a made cut. Callum Tarrin, David Skins, these are your English guys that no one heard of until the last couple of years, I think. So maybe they're young. I'm not sure. I remember playing them on the Euro Tour on a couple of events, but I think I was late with Tarrin. I think he already won a tournament or did well and then just didn't for a while. So I don't know about those guys. Not huge. Jim Knaus and Martin Trainer. I don't know what to do with that group. I personally, I would just say no because I don't trust Martin Trainer whatsoever. Don't care for him, but at the same time, I think they probably could score okay. Bill Haas and Jay Haas. That is father-son, and I think that's father-son. I don't think I would play either of them. Brett Druitt and I think it's Davey Vanderwalt. I don't care about that group either, and I don't care about Kaczewski and DA points. So your 6K range, pretty barren as you would expect, but there are some interesting plays. So hopefully going through each of the teams helped. I don't know if it really did, but it's difficult to gauge this tournament because it's a team event. And like I said, the ham and egg is what's going to be the best. I mean, you can't even quantify that. All the data nerds are just sweating this week because they don't know what to talk about. I think really, like I said, go with max potential, max scoring potential. This golf course is not difficult. I think just by when it was a solo event, it was pretty scoreable. 15 under, 22 under, 19 under, 20. Yeah. So it's a very scoreable event, golf course, that is. So, you know, looking for golfers who have really good birdie or better numbers, probably good to go with. I wouldn't let that be your end all be all because, again, you have alternate event mixed in with best ball. It's all about ham and egging it, whether it's, you know, during best ball or alternate shot or both. Like, you want to be able to rescue your partner whenever they get in trouble and vice versa. That is the mark of a great team in this format. And there's no way you can quantify that. There's no way. I think you could probably think about Moxie, but I don't know. Just, these are all conviction plays. Have fun with it this week. There isn't anything more I can say about it. So that's what I'm going to leave it at. Just reminder, $20 on the line. Just got to be subscribed. I'm running this giveaway the Sunday of the Mexico Championship. So if you want a chance to win $20, be subscribed and comment down below your favorite team this week or whatever you want to comment. But just commenting gets you that free entry. So you can get a chance to win $20. Also, prize picks giveaway. I'll give you $20 if you sign up using the promo code SweetSpot and put at least 20 into your account. You got to start it that way so I can see that you don't, or that you deposited, and then I give you your $20 back. So those are your two ways to win money this week. Just for giveaways from me. You obviously can win money on DraftKings, and I hope you guys do if you do choose to play. But it is a crapshoot. Don't let anyone tell you different. There might be edges out there, but I highly doubt it because, again, you could have the best team going into this tournament, and if you don't ham and egg better than the jabronis on the other side of the golf course, you're not gonna. It's unfortunate, but you're not gonna win. You're not even sniff top 10. So keep all that in mind. Again, hard to quantify this week. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, bye.